Okay, so let's unpack this. You know that specific kind of anxiety you get when you decide, okay, today's the day.
Oh, yeah.
Today's the day I get my nutrition sorted out. You walk into the supplement aisle, or maybe you open a browser tab.
And you're just hit with it, what I call the wall of tubs.
A monolith. It's just row after row of black plastic, white plastic, chrome text, aggressive fonts.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the words are just as aggressive.
Completely. We've got isolates, hydrolysates, concentrates. You've got pictures of bodybuilders with, veins popping out of their foreheads on one side, and then serene pictures of plants on the other. It's analysis paralysis.
And when we finally panic by something, it's usually the heavy hitters. Whey is king.
Whey is always king of the hill. Or lately, pea protein has been the loud newcomer.
Pea protein has had a great PR team for the last 5 years. It's everywhere.
Right. But today, we're doing something a little different. We are ignoring the loud ones. We're looking at the quiet giant of the industry, the one that is probably in that protein bar you have in your bag right now, even if you didn't know it. We are doing a deep dive into rice protein powder.
Which is, I think, arguably the most misunderstood tool in the entire functional food arsenal. People see rice and they just think carbs.
But the protein isolate is a whole different beast.
A whole different beast.
Exactly.
Okay.
And our mission today isn't just about getting swole or, bro science. We're looking at this through the lens of actual food science.
Right.
We have a stack of reports here covering everything from molecular structures to manufacturing nuances, and we have to go there, the very real safety concerns around heavy metals. We're going to figure out how you take a simple grain and turn it into a high-tech functional ingredient.
And that high-tech part is really key. A lot of people assume rice protein is just ground-up rice.
Oh.
It's not. It's a highly engineered product that solves very specific problems.
So let's start at the beginning. The why. Why rice? If I'm a manufacturer or even just a consumer, why am I reaching for it? I mean, I love a good bowl of jasmine rice, but I don't look at it and think protein powerhouse.
No, and you shouldn't, not in its raw form. Raw rice is mostly starch. But the reason rice protein has really taken over the market and the source material drives this home is what we call the hypoallergenic advantage.
The safety factor.
Think about the modern food landscape. It's a minefield of sensitivities. Dairy is out for lactose-intolerant people and vegans, which is a huge chunk of the market.
A huge chunk.
Soy is one of the big 8 allergens. Gluten is a non-starter for celiacs or anyone with a sensitivity. If you're formulating a protein bar today, you're running out of options fast.
So rice protein is the diplomat. It's the Switzerland to supplements.
That is a perfect analogy. It is a neutral building block. In the industry, we call this clean label formulating.
Okay.
You want an ingredient list that doesn't trigger a warning label. Rice is gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. It lets a brand cast the widest possible net.
And there's the flavor factor, right? We've talked about pea protein before. It has a distinct personality.
Greeny, that's the polite term. It can taste like hay or dirt, or just very green if you don't mask it well.
Whereas rice is described in our notes as a chameleon.
It's just so much more subtle. It doesn't fight the other flavors. If you're making a vanilla smoothie, rice protein tends to just sit in the background rather than trying to punch you in the face with an earthy flavor.
It just blends.
It blends.
Okay, so it's safe, it's neutral, it's accessible, but we have to address the elephant in the room, the chemistry. Because for years, the knock on rice protein, I've heard this in gyms for decades, was that it was incomplete.
This is the biggest hurdle for people.
Yeah.
And technically, the critics aren't wrong, but they're missing the context.
Let's break down incomplete. What are we actually missing here?
So proteins are built from amino acids. Think of them like Lego bricks. There are 20 of them, and 9 are essential, meaning your body can't make them. You have to eat them. Animal protein whey. Egg is a perfect match. It has all 9 in the right ratios. Rice protein. It hits a bit of a wall.
The notes get specific. They mention a limiting amino acid.
Yeah. Rice is specifically low in lysine. Now, it has plenty of other good stuff. It's actually very high in methionine and cysteine.
The sulfur ones for cartilage and liver health.
Exactly. But it falls short on lysine.
So if I only eat rice protein and nothing else, I'm creating a bottleneck in my body.
Essentially, yes. Think of it like a game of Scrabble. You have a handful of letters to spell the word muesli. You can have all the M's and S's in the world. That's your methionine and cysteine. But if you run out of L's, your lysine, you can't finish the word.
You can't build the protein efficiently.
That's it.
That makes perfect sense. So incomplete isn't saying it's trash. It's just saying it's missing a letter. But food scientists aren't just shrugging their shoulders at this, are they?
No, no, they play matchmaker. This is why the blend is the future of plant protein. You almost never see rice protein completely on its own anymore.
You see rice and pea?
Always. Because pea protein is the inverse.
It's rich in lysine.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Pea is rich in lysine, the very thing rice is missing. But it's poor in methionine and cysteine. It's the perfect chemical handshake. You blend them, and the resulting amino acid profile looks almost identical to whey.
That's fascinating. It's like two different plants cooperating to build a complete human protein?
It is synergy in the truest sense. The
Yeah.
source also mentions rice and hemp as a strong pairing for the same reason. So if you're checking your label, seeing multiple protein sources isn't a bad thing.
It's a feature, not a bug.
It's a sign they understand the biochemistry.
Okay, let's move on to the part of the label that usually confuses me the most, the suffix. You have rice protein, isolate, concentrate, and hydrolysate. And the price difference can be huge. What am I paying for?
You're paying for purity and speed. Let's start with the gold standard, the isolate.
RPI.
Right, rice protein isolate. To get this, manufacturers take the rice and just strip away almost everything that isn't protein. They use enzymes, filtration to remove the fiber, the fats, the carbs.
So you're left with a powder that's what, 80 to 90% protein?
Incredibly dense.
Yeah.
And because they've removed all the obstacles, the fats and fibers, your body can access that protein very, very quickly.
So this is the post-workout choice.
Exactly. You just finished a heavy squat session. You want immediate recovery. Isolate is your friend. It also has a better texture. It's less gritty, shakes up in water without feeling like you're drinking sand.
But that processing costs money.
A lot of money. You lose yield to get that kind of purity.
Okay, so let's look at the budget option, the concentrate.
The concentrate. Think of this as the minivan of proteins, if isolate is the sports car.
I like that.
With a concentrate, the filtration isn't as rigorous. You're left with maybe 70% protein. The rest is the original rice matrix, carbohydrates and fiber.
Rice matrix sounds like a sci-fi movie, but I'm guessing it just means stuff that slows you down.
It does, but that's not always a bad thing. This is a crucial distinction if you're drinking a shake for breakfast.
A meal replacement.
Yeah, as a meal replacement, you don't want it to absorb in 20 minutes. You'll be hungry again by the time you get to work. You want satiety.
You want it to sit in your stomach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The fiber and the complex carbs in the concentrate take work to break down. That keeps your blood sugar stable and keeps you full.
So for the average person just trying to snack less, the cheaper option, the concentrate, might actually be the better choice.
Often, yes. The trade-off is the sensory experience. It's going to be thicker, it's going to be grainier.
Okay, then we have the third one, the one that sounds like a chemistry experiment. The hydrolysate.
This is the niche high-performance stuff. Hydrolysis is a process where they introduce enzymes to the protein before it's even packaged. These enzymes are like microscopic scissors. They chop the long protein chains into tiny snippets called peptides.
So it's pre-digested.
Literally, your stomach usually does that work. Here, the factory did it for you. The benefit is pure speed. It bypasses normal digestion and just floods the bloodstream almost instantly.
We're talking elite sports recovery.
Or clinical nutrition. But there's a catch. The notes mention a big one.
The sensory catch.
A big one. Bitterness.
Why does chopping it up make it bitter?
It's fascinating, actually. When protein is a long chain, it folds up on itself, hiding certain parts. When you snip those chains with enzymes, you expose these hydrophobic regions to your taste buds.
And those taste bitter.
Inherently bitter. A kind of metallic taste.
So you're paying top dollar for the fastest protein, but it tastes the worst.
Unless the flavoring chemists are absolute magicians, you will almost never see an unflavored hydrolysate. It will be double-rich chocolate or very vanilla. They need strong masking agents to cover that note.
That is wild. So if you see a hydrolysate that claims to be unflavored, you should probably brace yourself.
Or have some pineapple juice ready.
Speaking of mixing, let's dig into that sensory experience because honestly, the #1 reason people quit protein powder isn't nutrition. It's that it tastes like chalk.
The dreaded chalk, yes.
Why is rice protein so prone to this? Why is it so much grittier than, say, whey?
It comes down to the source. Rice is a grain. Even when you process it, it's really hard to get the particle size down to the smoothness of a milk protein. It has a physical structure that, well, it resists being dissolved. It likes to stay suspended.
The notes mention mesh size is a big deal in the industry.
It's a constant battle, grinding it finer and finer. But this is another reason why those blends we talked about are so popular. Pea protein is smoother, almost creamy,
Ah, so you mix the gritty rice with the creamy pea.
and they kind of cancel each other out. Creates a more cohesive, smoother beverage.
It's a textural sleight of hand.
Exactly.
And for anyone listening, if you're trying to test the quality of a new brand, here's a pro tip from the source material I found really interesting. Buy the unflavored version first.
That sounds brave.
It is, but it tells you the truth.
It really does. If the unflavored base tastes like rancid cardboard or has a chemical aftertaste, the manufacturer is using low-quality starting material and just hiding it with a ton of stevia.
But if it's mild and just tastes like, well, rice water,
Then you know you've got a clean base to work with.
that is so actionable. Don't let the birthday cake flavor fool you.
Never trust birthday cake.
I want to pivot to something serious now. We've covered the good, but the source material flags a pretty significant safety concern with rice protein. We need to talk about heavy metals.
Yes, this is non-negotiable. We're talking about arsenic, lead, and cadmium.
And this isn't because the factory is dirty, right? It's the plant itself.
It's the biology of the rice plant. Rice is unique because it's grown in flooded paddies. It's sitting in a bath of water and soil nutrients all day. The plant is incredibly efficient at acting like a sponge. It pulls up silica from the soil, but it also pulls up whatever else is in the groundwater.
So if the groundwater has naturally occurring arsenic,
The rice absorbs it. And here's the kicker. When you make a protein isolate, you're concentrating the rice. You take maybe 100 pounds of rice to make a few pounds of protein. You risk concentrating the heavy metals right alongside the amino acids.
that is a very sobering thought. So should we be avoiding rice protein altogether?
No, I don't think that's the right move. That's an overcorrection. But you have to be a vigilant consumer. You cannot just buy blind. The advice here is crystal clear. Look for third-party testing.
We see these logos all the time, but I feel like we just ignore them. NSF certified for sport. Informed choice.
Stop ignoring them. Those logos mean an independent lab has actually tested that specific batch for contaminants. NSF certified for sport is incredibly rigorous. If it's clean enough for an Olympian who gets drug tested, it's clean enough for your smoothie.
What about organic? Does certified organic protect me from this?
Not necessarily. That's a common misconception. Organic means no synthetic pesticides were used. But if the soil itself has heavy metals, the plant will still soak them up. Organic is good, but for heavy metals, you need to see the lab tests.
So transparency is the only real safety net here.
In this category, absolutely. If a brand won't show you their heavy metal reports or doesn't have those certifications, you switch brands, period.
Okay, we've gone deep on the science and safety. Let's bring this back to the kitchen. How do we actually use this stuff?
All right, let's break it down by user profile.
Scenario 1, the athlete. High-intensity training, needs recovery.
Speed is key. Go for the isolate. Or, if you have the budget, the hydrolysate. You want that amino acid spike. And honestly, for an athlete, that rice pea blend is probably the sweet spot between performance and cost.
Okay, scenario 2, the meal prepper. Someone just trying to stay full, manage their weight.
Concentrate.
Yeah.
All day. Embrace the carbs and fiber. It'll sit heavier in your stomach, which is exactly what you want. You
Right.
save money and you stop snacking.
Now, the source had a specific warning for scenario 3, the baker. I have definitely tried to swap flour for protein powder in pancakes, and it did not go well.
You made hockey pucks.
I mean, hockey pucks. Why does rice protein do that?
It's hygroscopic, fancy word for it loves water. It just pulls moisture out of your batter aggressively.
Oh, yeah.
If a recipe calls for 1 cup of flour and you swap in 1 cup of rice protein, you've just sucked all the available liquid out of the recipe.
So we need to adjust the ratios.
Significantly. You need to increase your liquid almond milk, water, eggs by a healthy margin. Or add a fat, like Greek yogurt or oil, to keep it moist. And don't do 100% swap. Start with half flour, half protein.
Don't try to be a hero.
Exactly.
And what about dosing? How much should people start with?
Start slow. 20 to 30 grams, that's a standard scoop. Because of the fiber in some of these, especially the concentrates, if you do 3 scoops on day 1, your digestive system might protest.
We'll leave the details of that protest to the imagination.
Please do. But generally, because rice is so hypoallergenic, it's much gentler on the stomach than something like whey or soy.
So, stepping back, we've taken this quiet giant and really put it under the microscope.
We have. And I think the big takeaway here is just its versatility. Rice protein is the safe harbor. It works for people with allergies. It works for sensitive stomachs. And when you blend it, it works for elite athletes.
It also feels like it represents a real shift in how we view food. We aren't just eating meals anymore. We're engaging in functional nutrition.
That's a great observation. We are engineering our intake. We're asking, do I want fast absorption or slow satiety? Do I need a complete amino acid profile? That's a level of nutritional literacy we just didn't have 20 years ago.
It turns the grocery aisle into a toolkit. You're not just buying supplements, you're buying tools for a specific biological job.
Exactly. And once you understand the tool, you can build whatever you want.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me, though. We spent all this time talking about how rice protein is incomplete on its own, but becomes perfect when you blend it with pea or hemp.
Right.
It makes me wonder, and this is something for you to think about this week, we're always looking for the superfood, the one magic bullet, kale, acai, whatever it is. But if the perfect protein is actually a blend of different plants working in synergy, does this mean the future of nutrition isn't about finding one superfood, but about mastering the combinations?
That is a profound thought. Maybe the magic isn't in the molecule itself, but in the relationship between them.
Something to chew on or sip on with your next shake. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Stay curious.